I didn't think there was any food that I would like better than ice cream. But this stuff, it's sweet, it's smooth, low calorie, and enough is never enough. So what the heck is this stuff? It's the stuff. In this week's episode, we ask, are you eating it or is it eating you? With the Larry Cohen classic, The Stuff. Let's enter the tape tomb. What's up, all gendered dudes, stony bonies, and tape heads, and welcome back to another episode of The Tape Tomb, a show where each week I set my money on fire to feed my nonsensical need to build my horror VHS collection and talk about some of my favorite movies with you. We're huge fans of Larry Cohen films around here at The Tape Tomb, but this one takes the cake, or the stuff, or some other dessert pun, in the 1985 satirical horror film, The Stuff. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know how, but somehow, some way, you heard it from us, and I think that's worth a like and subscribe. We could do it again. The Stuff was written and directed by Larry Cohen, who's had his hand in Maniac Cop, It's Alive, and Uncle Sam, I Want You Dead. And also stars Andrea Marcovici, Garrett Morris, and the best part about this movie, Michael Moriarty as Mo Rutherford. This movie uses themes such as consumerism and corporate greed to showcase our constant need to buy, and how we put poisons into our body on a daily basis, and we're okay with it. Clearly, I'm not a shining example of this, but maybe this idea will stick to you better. Roll the film. After sticking his finger into a weird white substance in the ground and deciding to just put it in his mouth, this old guy has made quite the discovery. We assume that he contacts a big distributor, and yada yada yada, the stuff is made. Not only is it made, but it's mass-produced, sold in every store, has slick 80s advertising blown up all over the place, and even has pop-up shops in every single town. It's a hit! But you know who's not happy about it? The leaders of the suffering ice cream companies who
have to keep the world safe for ice cream.
They hire the slickest former FBI agent turned saboteur David Mo Rutherford to find out exactly what the stuff is and destroy it. Why do they call him Mo?
Because every time people give me money, I always want more.
They need him to do this because the stuff's process and ingredients are protected under the same law that protects Coca-Cola from revealing their recipe. So Mo is now on a mission to infiltrate the company and in the process teams up with others affected by the process of the stuff, which includes the main marketer for the product, a young boy who refuses to eat the stuff as his family descends into stuffiness, and the man with the iron fists, Chocolate Chip Charlie. Former mogul of the Chocolate Chip Charlie Cookie Company who's down on his luck after he got kicked out of the company. Did I mention that the stuff is now turning on people and is really a sentient alien being hell-bent on taking over the planet while turning us into mindless, melty, stuff-filled zombies? So it's now up to Mo and the gang to put a stop to this plan in the timeless, goop-filled classic, The Stuff. This movie is what we call in the horrorverse a melt movie, which is a favorite subgenre of mine. These movies feature gratuitous and disgusting melting of humans into either goo, gelatinous puddles, or some sort of fucked up monster. These movies aim to be gross, and you know we love that shit. Some melt movie titles include The Stuff, Street Trash, and The Incredible Melting Man. There's so much stuff to love about The Stuff. This movie is basically an experiment on practical effects, and it's what I live for in horror. Watching the stuff in action or it take over people is freaking awesome. Just thinking of the gallons upon gallons of goop they had to use and the tools used to make it spew all over the place makes my head spin. Mo Rutherford's not only the best part about this movie, but probably one of my favorite characters in horror ever. He puts on a really stupid, goofy front that always catches people on their toes. I mean, just look at this slick guy in action.
I don't think you're quite as dumb as you appear to be.
No one is as dumb as I appear to be.
Right?
Well, I know that story because that's the way I got where I am today, and here I am with you, and you're awful pretty.
Right? This movie's got an out-of-the-norm, fun-to-follow story with an aesthetic that's to die for. So of course, it oozes its way into the tape tomb. Here's some interesting facts about The Stuff. According to Larry Cohen himself, in some scenes where the stuff is used on people, it was actually a paste of ground up fish bones that smelled so bad that as soon as the scenes were done shooting, the cast and crew ran to go wash themselves down or just air out. The character Chocolate Chip Charlie, the man with the iron fists who's always walking around with lethal weapons, was actually inspired by famous Amos cookies. Larry Cohen's been on the record stating that the day the stuff premiered in theaters, the newspapers actually got hit by a hurricane. They had all of these great reviews, but no one got to read any of them. Sure, Larry, we have the same problem over here at Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of The Tape Tomb. Once again, I'm your host, Larry Downs, and if you like this content, make sure that you click that like and subscribe button down below, or leave us a comment talking about The Stuff or another movie that we should talk about here on The Tape Tomb. Or tune into our live streams multiple times a week on Twitch under Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Feel free to hop into the chat, tell us that our opinions are wrong, but you like us anyway. Or hang out with us on Instagram. I'm always bored and constantly uploading a ton of goofy pictures, things that I think that you'll think are funny, or stuff relating to our channel here at Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Behind the scenes stuff, upcoming teasers, and much, much more. Or if you're tired of feeling creeped out and want to look up to the stars, check out our sister series, Airlock Shock with Nick Kaskin, here at Nightmare Fuel Streaming, airing every other Wednesday. He talks about some of his favorite sci-fi movies, just like we do here at the Tape Tomb. This is Larry Downs signing off with another episode of the Tape Tomb. Stay spooky, my friends, and we'll see you in the sequel.